The story we are going to explore today is titled Charlotte's Web, and the author is E.B. White. Our written objective today. The learner will be able to respond in written sentences using age-appropriate sentence lengths, patterns, and structures in paragraph form to questions presented at the end of the video. Speaking objective. The learner will be able to summarize and describe orally the story that was presented in digital form. Let me introduce to you our characters in Charlotte's Web. There are several primary or important characters as well as secondary characters who play a smaller role. The primary characters. Wilbur, a barnyard pig, is the star of our show and is our main character. Charlotte, another character, is a brave and intelligent spider. Another group of characters are Mr. and Mrs. Arable the farmers and their daughter and son, Fern and Avery. They are Wilbur's first owners. And the last primary character is Mr. Zuckerman. He is the farmer and he is Wilbur's second owner. The secondary characters are Templeton, a selfish rat, and some other barnyard animals such as goose, lamb, and at the very end, I will introduce you into three important characters, Joy, Arania, and Nellie. The story takes place on two farms. At first, Mr. Arable's farm, and secondly, Mr. Zuckerman's farm, with a small adventure to the local fair. The story starts in the springtime and goes through a whole year of seasons. The story is about our main character, Wilbur, a farmyard pig. Wilbur is a survivor who loves life. When he was first born as a runt, the farmer Arable meant to kill him because of his small size. That's when our second character, Fern, steps in. She is the farmer's daughter who valiantly saves Wilbur from her father and vows to raise him as her own pet. Wilbur thrives and grows rapidly with love and affection from Fern, who treats him like a baby, even feeding him with a bottle and pushing him around in a stroller. But once he gets too big and too much of a distraction for Fern, Mr. Arable makes Fern give him to her uncle, Mr. Zuckerman, down the street. At first, Wilbur is scared, sad, and lonely at the new farm. No one wants to play with the talkative pig, and no one wants to be his friend. One night he cries and cries until suddenly he hears a voice. The voice tells him she will be his friend. But who is this voice, and where is this voice coming from? It isn't until the next day that he learns the voice belongs to Charlotte, a spider. Wilbur isn't sure how he feels about his new friend. She is a spider that catches small bugs as prey, kills them, and then drinks their blood. It seems scary. But she is also very intelligent and kind. Wilbur struggles with mixed feelings about Charlotte, though they soon become fast friends. Soon, spring turns into summer, and Wilbur is feeling much better now about his new home, now that he has a friend. He even opens up to the other barnyard animals like goose and lamb. And Fern still comes to visit him very often. Fern is very observant, and she sits for long hours just listening to the animals speak to each other, and she even believes she can understand them. One day, when Fern is visiting, everything seems to be going well, until Lamb tells Wilbur that Mr. Zuckerman is fattening him up for the winter, and they're going to eat him for Christmas dinner. Wilbur is scared and heartbroken, and he doesn't want to die. He begins to cry and sob until Charlotte calms him down and promises that she won't let him be killed. She vows to come up with a plan to save him. Wilbur, nervous, asks her almost every day if she has come up with a plan, and it doesn't look good. Until one early morning, when the farmer and his helping hand go to feed the barnyard animals, they see something strange. Right above Wilbur, written in a spider's web, are the words, "Some pig." The farmer hardly believes his eyes. It seems like a miracle. It doesn't take long for the news of Mr. Zuckerman's famous pig to spread around the whole town. The farm becomes famous with lots of visitors. Charlotte had come up with a plan. She made Wilbur so famous, surely they wouldn't eat him now. But just to be sure that people would not grow bored of the word "some pig," Charlotte asks Templeton, the selfish rat, for help. Will he help her? Will he help Wilbur? It was hard to persuade the selfish rat, but after Wilbur promises his slops, Templeton agrees to look for newspaper clippings to help Charlotte. With the help of Templeton, she finds 2 more words that attract the attention of people around the city. The first word, terrific, and the second, radiant. Wilbur becomes so famous that Mr. Zuckerman enters him into a fair contest, which means that Wilbur will have to leave the farm. He is too scared to be alone, but Charlotte says she's too sick to accompany him. But at the last moment, when they are loading Wilbur up onto the truck to go to the fair, Wilbur panics. He begins to cry, and Charlotte, despite being sick, decides to accompany him to the fair. At the fair, she even manages to write one last word for Wilbur, humble, which wins Wilbur a special prize. Everything seems to be happy and going well again, until Wilbur is ready to go home. Charlotte tells him that she's too sick to return with him to the farm, and that she will soon die. Wilbur doesn't understand. He is so distraught and he begins to panic. He can't return to the farm without his friend. How will he survive? Charlotte tries to calm him down and asks him for one last request: to take her eggs home to the barn. Heartbroken and in despair, Wilbur takes the eggs home and watches over them all winter long until they hatch. And as the seasons slowly change until spring again, the eggs hatch. All of the spiders leave, except 3, Joy, Arania, and Nellie, which agree to stay and be Wilbur's friend. Charlotte had succeeded in saving Wilbur's life, and her daughters became his friend. The end. I am now going to ask 3 follow-up questions. For the first question, please answer in written form. What do you think Charlotte's point of view was toward her friend Wilbur? Question number 2, please answer in oral form. How do you think Wilbur felt when he realized his life had been saved, but that he would never see his friend Charlotte again? Question number 3. Please respond in oral form. Please summarize Charlotte's Web from the information you received in the digital storytelling, and please give your opinion on if you would recommend this book to a friend.